Now, what I do have here is a father energy, okay? And he was, I want to say elderly, but not, you know, in his 90s or anything like that. I'm actually tempted to say someone, you know, in the late 70s, maybe 78, 79. But someone that would have had trouble maybe, I can't say, it's very hard for me because I don't have any medical training, okay? So I don't always know, is it like a chest thing or is it something else? But there's definitely something in the throat and it feels like my throat is sore and it's blocked. So I honestly don't know, does that mean that there was like maybe a cancer of the throat or something, or maybe this person just had maybe a tube down their throat to help with breathing, okay? But I do feel that this man would have been ill, okay? And he's giving me a pain in my head as well. So I think this means a cancer. The way the pain is coming through, it doesn't feel like a stroke or anything like that. It feels like, for me, what it is cancer dehydrates you, and the dehydration affects the front lobe of your brain. So they tell me in the spirit world anyway. And so he did have a cancer, okay, but it affected his throat in some way, whether that was a breathing tube down to his lungs or whether there was actually the cancer in his throat, okay. Hi Chelsea, your dad's currently here though, but this is someone who's connecting with me now, okay? So this is someone who's already passed. And I want to say, as I said, he was in his late 70s, but this guy seems quite tall to me, but yet he's bent over, and he's not bent over at the shoulders as some taller people tend to get. It's actually something with the back. So I'm talking about someone who's maybe 5'10", 5'11", and he may have had back or kidney issues because he's bent over at the back and not hunched over at the shoulder like a lot of taller people tend to do, especially as they get older. They hunch down to talk to people, but this is all at the back. And he showed me himself dressed in a dark grey suit, okay, and he's also wearing a hat, and it's not a flat cap style hat, it's like a trilby style hat. Okay, so I'm actually, the way he's dressed, I may be going back some years, or maybe an older photograph of himself that he's showing to me. Okay, he would have lost a lot of weight before he passed, so he was quite ill, and I feel very drawn on my face. And he's given me the name of William. Okay, so I'm not sure, that name must connect, whether it's his name or whether it's somebody here that he needs to reach out to, but the name William does connect with this older gentleman as well. Okay, so if any of that information, okay, how long are you in spirit? As I'll say, he's a father figure, so either a father or a grandfather. And I'm just trying to get from him a timeline. Okay, I think he may be in spirit 14 years, 14, 16 years. Okay, so he's quite a long time in spirit. Died after 5 weeks with a tube. Okay, Audrey, your granddad would be 79. Is he past... or Sharon, okay, you're telling me it could sound like your dad William, okay. So Sharon, or who's the other lady? Sorry, Audrey. Is one of your dads, would there be, if I'm going back 14 years, so either this is when his illness started or this is when he died, but this kind of 14, 16 year period is when life as he knew it ended, okay. Hi Heather, well hang on in there, you know, it's not to say your dad won't come through. But this gentleman does, and it's funny because the one thing I keep wanting to say is that his legs are really, really thin, and it's almost like he's swimming in his trousers, you know. He got cancer 14 years ago after his wife died, okay. Bernie's dad was only 5 years ago. Okay, so we may be with Audrey. Does all the rest of the information... So come back to me, Audrey. Did everything else about the back, maybe leaning over at the back, having some kind of problem maybe with his back? Or, yeah, but Sharon, I need to go back to 14 years with this one, and I know your dad or your granddad, whichever one you were saying, has only gone these 6 years. Okay, but this one is going back much further, okay? But everything has to make sense. The timeline, the suit, the hat, the trilby style hat, you know, the bending over at the back instead of being hunched over, it's supposed to be hunched over at the shoulders. It all has to make sense because all of this information goes together, so we can't pick and choose, okay? Audrey, 2 years ago with cancer, definitely suit and hat. Your Uncle William, but who was it you were saying was 14 years ago, Audrey? I wonder, would we have the two of them coming through together? Am I seeing one and talking with another? Okay, so granddad. And I'm laughing because I'm asking him to confirm something that's been going on more recently. You know, Audrey, if it is for you, you would understand that recently, I don't know if you've been getting dressed up to go out to something, but he's talking about putting a scarf around your neck and really trying it in different ways and trying to see if it makes you look kind of maybe too old or something like this. Okay. So William is your uncle, I get you. So that's why he's talking about William joining him in the spirit world. Would that be it? Okay, that makes sense. Yeah, so Audrey, about the scarf, okay, so have you been, you know, playing around, or maybe you were getting ready for something, and he's talking about spending ages putting a scarf, for someone putting a scarf around their neck. Ah, so that's you, Audrey. You've been wearing this. So Audrey's been wearing a scarf because of an op she had on her neck. So this is definitely for you then, Audrey, because when I ask him something, it's the scarf that he's talking about. Okay. And I also want to talk about a jacket that you've bought, but it's not like, you know, an anorak or anything like that. It's like, I don't even want to say pink because it's not a mad pink. It's more like a dusty pink. Okay. But I want to talk about someone as well wearing a pink jacket, and it's like, you know, a jacket, it's not one off a suit, but you know, it's that kind of a fabric type jacket. It's not an anorak jacket, and it's kind of a dusky pink colour that he's talking about. And he's talking about somebody wearing it. So there's a feeling that maybe it's something new or something that somebody was given, or they were dressing up for something recently. But he's talking about how well one of you looked in the dusty pink denim jacket. Okay, so okay, Grandad. Audrey, have you been talking about moving recently? And I'm not sure is it moving, but he's definitely talking about being or looking at a house that's nearer your mother. So I don't know, does that make sense? Maybe you've been visiting someone that lives nearer your mother, or but I keep seeing like a green area out the front of the house, and it's like he's saying, you know, that you're maybe hankering to live there, or, you know, wishing that you could be there and be closer to mum. But I'm feeling that there might be some distance there at the moment. Okay, does that make sense? Audrey, does that make sense? Both parents passed, dad just in general cleared out. Okay, it's your daughter that moved in. No, a new apartment. But why do I want to talk about being at your mother's house, Audrey, and about a green area outside? Does that make sense? Oh, County Meath. Audrey, but a house with a green area and feeling like lonely, like you need to be. Well, it makes sense that there's a distance to your mum because she's passed, okay? But I want Audrey to confirm if there's a house, and if her mum's house that she's been clearing out has a green area out the front, and if she's been feeling really lonely clearing it out, and like she would like to maybe move back there and be talking or living kind of maybe closer to where her mum was living. We gave the house back to council. There is a green area near, yes, lonely, as no one helped. Oh God, it's in Dublin. Oh, okay, so you're in Meath and the house is in Dublin. Okay. But where you're, okay, so there's something about a move, so I'm probably just mixing that up there with your daughter moving and then you clearing out the house. So I'm probably just mixing the two messages together. I was going to ask, and then I just realised that you said your mother had already passed, but what I wanted to talk about was, did she suffer from high blood pressure? Was this something that mum had suffered from, or did she have a stroke before she left here? Because I'm feeling about a mother energy, like he's talking about a mother energy for you, who, oh, your daughter was like a daughter to them. Okay, oh, there's the move at the house. Your daughter had to move out of the house, and this is what made you feel sad and distant. I totally get it. And it's a shame with the council not let her stay there, being as she was living there with them, Audrey. What a huge, huge shame. What was I saying there a second ago? Oh yeah, about your mum. Did she have blood pressure issues? Had she had a stroke or something at some stage? Because I'm feeling like he's talking about a mother energy for you who had had issues with blood, high blood pressure. The recent move that was made, so I'm assuming that's your daughter unless there was another move recently, but he says the move wasn't a good one, okay, and it's not going to last very long. So she may be, oh, it was wheelchair access, okay. So I'm just not sure that this move, unless somebody else moved, because you know what, I'm not feeling it's your daughter. Was there a male within the family that moved recently? Because I'm feeling that it was like a backwards move for a male, rather than something positive for a female, okay. So do you have a son that moved? Do you have a brother that moved? Yes, I have a mother energy here now, okay. Now it was definitely someone who passed with something to do with their head, so whether it was some kind of stroke or brain hemorrhage. I'm feeling that she was quite young, maybe only around 64, so early to mid 60s, okay. And you know, I'm feeling that she's not that long in the spirit world, okay. So I want to say 3 to 4 years only. And I'm just feeling that the passing was sudden and that it was quite unexpected, and that she, you know, that she was pretty much going about her everyday business, although she may have been aware that there was maybe something wrong. Maybe it was someone that suffered with high blood pressure, maybe it was someone that was aware perhaps that she had something in her head, but that it all happened very, very quickly. At the moment I'm connected with a mother energy, okay, last 3 to 4 years, something to do with the head, whether it's a stroke or whether it's some kind of bleed on the brain, hemorrhage, aneurysm, I don't know whether they're the same thing, but there's definitely some kind of bleed here. Now she would have been around 64 years of age, so early to mid 60s. She's not an extremely tall woman, and she's short hair. Mum died 66, the son's birthday is 3 days time. She had a brain tumour, 3 years this July, got sick Wednesday and died Thursday. Okay, so we'll be back with you again, Audrey. Okay, so maybe I didn't give your granddad time enough to bring Mum through. Okay, so let's see. So this lady, as I said, she's quite short. Okay, she's only about, you know, I want to say not far from my height, so maybe around 5'4", 5'5". I'm not 5'5". I'd like to think I'm 5'5", but so she's not very tall. She has short hair, okay, and she's a dynamo of energy. So a woman who would never have sat down. She's always buzzing around, always doing stuff, and the door, it's like she shows me the door of the house is always open. So everybody's always in and out. It's a busy household. And she's always giving out to somebody about the way that he parks outside the house. She tells me that, you know, somebody used to always park their car really awkward outside the house, like they were blocking the drive, or just parked very awkwardly. Okay, so all this information must make sense to one of you. I was 5'2", short hair, always on her feet cleaning, everyone in and out, gave out to me for living in Meath and parking like I was still in the country. Brilliant. Okay, so definitely something about your parking. Okay, Audrey, because yours are coming through strong today, aren't they? What? Your family are coming through very strong today, Audrey. So what's going on? Is there a birthday or something? So let me see if I can get something else from her. Okay, Audrey, this is going to sound like a random thing to say, but delayed getting to you. Yeah, the messages always are, and that's why it's kind of more difficult to do the readings like this, because the messages do there's a little bit of a delay in the messages getting through to me. But this is going to sound like a random thing to say to you, but it's actually showing me a pot that's damaged, and I'm feeling, you know, that her fiery temper, that she may have slammed it down or thrown it after somebody. There's definitely something about a pot being dinged or dented or damaged in some way, and I do feel that it's to do with her temper, okay? So I know, Audrey, you'll be replying to me, so see does that make sense about the pot. And also she showed me that somebody's been doing some painting, not like artist painting, but painting a wall, and it's green. Okay, somebody's been painting green paint just recently. You took the pot out of the house last week. Okay, so it's definitely her then, Audrey. Okay, and have you been painting green pot? Yeah. I just want to see with Audrey, does it make sense that somebody's been painting a wall in a house and painting it in green? And also, if you're typing a reply to that, Audrey, have you, your next door neighbour's painting green, okay. So you may have been out chatting to the neighbour or something, because it's like I'm watching somebody that's painting green. And have you hurt your shoulder recently, Audrey, and in particular your left shoulder? Have you had a pain in your left shoulder? Not in the house, but it's a wall of a house. Did I say in the house? Okay, I probably did, I don't know. But I just saw somebody painting green, that's all. And the shoulder, have you hurt your shoulder recently? I just feel all of a sudden a pain in my left shoulder. Maybe that's something to do with her, but I thought it was something that she was giving me for you. So my left shoulder just along the top here, kind of like maybe there's a strain, or I reached too far for something, and maybe, you know, you've aches and pains after clearing out the house, okay? But I'm definitely talking about something in my left shoulder. You had an up on your neck. Okay, sorry, I forgot about that. I forgot it was the same person. Okay, so yeah, there you go. And the left side, that must make sense to you too. Okay, so Audrey, look, Granddad came through and Mum came through, okay? And talking about the pot and that, just letting you know that she's seen what's going on, that she's been with you. Maybe you were chatting to the neighbour or watching the neighbour painting the house, the green colour, you know. So there's a lot there that hopefully you can take and, you know that they're with you still and that they love you, okay? Okay, so very quickly, because this young man's getting impatient. I'm feeling that there's a young man here that passed, okay? And I do want to say that he was young. I kind of want to say mid-20s. He doesn't seem older to me. Although he was tall, but he was also quite thin. And I'm getting a sharp pain just at the bottom of my ribs on my left-hand side. And I honest to God don't know what that is. I don't know what's there because it's too low for the lungs if it's just below the ribs. And it's almost like a sharp stabbing pain. Okay, yeah, because I was going to say, had this young man been stabbed? So I don't know, is there a vital organ where you can get illness just below your ribs on the left hand side of your body? Your sister's ex, Christine? And does it make sense that he's young, he's only kind of in his mid-20s and tall, thin, quite funny actually. He was stabbed, and right there on his left side, because it did feel like a stabbing pain, but I wasn't sure, was it just like, I'm terrible because I've no medical training, and I don't know the difference between one thing and another. The one with the drug problem. Okay, so he's noticed you around looking for him, and you've been asking him to come through. Okay, the only reason that I'm smiling, and it's going to sound like a random thing to say, Christine, that there's something about the pair of jeans that he used to wear, like that he had other pairs of jeans, but he always used to wear the one that had the rips in them, but how fashionable they are now. So it's like he's saying that people were kind of giving out to him about wearing the jeans with the rip in them when he had better ones to wear. So you're not sure about the jeans, but please ask your sister about the jeans. He keeps showing me a tattoo, but like it's on a hand. But and I want to go to my left side. So somebody got a tattoo either on the hand or on the wrist area. Would you be aware of that? She had his name on her wrist. Okay, that's it. She got it covered over a while ago. So I was going to say, had she replaced the ring? Because I thought he was saying that she'd replaced the ring with another ring, but maybe I was getting that wrong and she's replaced the tattoo. So, you know, is she with somebody else or is she just taking off the ring? Maybe I'm just feeling that the ring has been replaced as well. Does that make sense to you, Christine? Has the ring been replaced, or am I just mixing that up with the tattoo being replaced? Okay. She did cover his name. So perhaps I'm just mixing those two things up. Okay. Has your sister been ill recently? Not seriously or anything. Has she had a chest infection? Has she been coughing or something like this? Okay, because The way he shows me is like he's been slapping her on the back. So you're not sure about her chest, okay? Because he's showing me himself hitting her like someone's coughing, and he's hitting them on the back of the chest. No, Christine, it's absolutely fine. You're not going to know everything, but please write them down and check afterwards, and you can send me a message and let me know if it made sense in the end, okay? But it's absolutely fine. But I'm just feeling that maybe not everything is hunky-dory with your sister. What I mean by hunky-dory is that everything may not be going well, or that she may be under a bit of stress or pressure at the moment. And I'm just feeling like he wishes that he was here to help her through it, because she just doesn't seem to be as confident as she used to be, okay? So, you know, she's been through a lot, especially if her fiancé has passed. And like she's worrying and stressing about things, okay? You know, he does just say that he wants to apologise because he does love her a lot, okay? And he said that he was stupid to stress over her PhD application, okay? That there may have been, maybe they'd had maybe a bit of a spat or a bit of a, you know, serious discussion. You know, when you feel like someone may not have been on the best of terms, and he wishes that they could have been maybe more on the best of terms, or that they'd had some time to sort something out before he left. So, Christine, if you can let me know, does that make sense? Or even just to confirm that you'll take it back to your sister and see, does it make sense to her? Thank you, Christine. Yeah, and I hope it makes sense to her.